Police in Tennessee earlier today, you probably saw this story, conducted a welfare check on Grizzly star Ja Morant following some cryptic messages he put up on his Instagram account Wednesday. And officials went to go see him, and they told ESPN that he is, quote, taking a break from social media. Now, what happened? Earlier today, Morant put posts up and then deleted messages and pictures to social media that said, love you, Ma, with a blue heart emoji, love you, Pops, blue heart emoji, and you the greatest baby girl, blue heart emoji, love you, then followed up with a post that simply said, bye. So that became something that raised some flags. The Shelby County Sheriff's Office went for a welfare check on him, and they said that he is fine. Obviously, he is still suspended from all team activities following the video of him holding a gun that circulated on social media back in the middle of May. So this is where, it takes your breath away with this headline, and then you see, okay, he's fine. But here's the thing. Is he really fine? Because I'll be the first person to tell you, I know I don't treat social media like Gen Z does, right? And John Morant's Generation Z. I don't treat social media that way. I don't treat it because a lot of, and this is not right or wrong. You love what you love, right? I mean, I love chocolate and I love the Mets. Some people love social media, and you can see how some people in social media, it's extremely important to them. Young athletes, it is extremely important to them. Extremely important. And to see somebody post something that says love you to three family members, and then you post bye, that raises a flag with me. And I don't know that I would just sit here and say, oh, he's fine, because again, I don't know how Generation Z, it's a difference in generations. Obviously it's two, because it's X, Y, and Z. But I got to think that even Gen Z, if you're taking a break from social media, are you putting a message to your mom, your dad, and your baby girl that, hey, love you, bye? I think if I wanted to let everybody know I'm taking a break from social media, I would just text my mom or dad. I would say, I'm not going to be on social media for a while. But
probably three people that aren't checking your Instagram to get that kind of messaging,
but that's the
particularly thing. Your kid.
But the thing is, but that's the thing, is that's how a lot of people communicate. I understand that. I understand that that's how some people, instead of messaging, people communicate. But this is a different kind of communication.
Sure.
This is, I'm going on social media to tell you I'm taking a break from social media. That's what it is? Really? I mean, I don't know that I would sit here and say, yeah, everything is fine.
No, I think all of us in the immediate interpretation, we've had this discussion before about folks posting cryptic things about, rough days, happy days, whatever, the begging you to ask, okay, what happened? Right? Good, bad, indifferent. This one just had that kind of chill to it, given the buildup of these events with Ja Morant and the severity of what we believe is coming from the NBA with regard to sanctions, whether it's a half year, a full year, ordering a bunch of steps and rehabilitation, whatever it is, to get back into the good graces of the NBA ahead of his 5-year, $194 million contract, all the stuff that could be torn asunder based on what's gone through. So you think the worst, right? That was my reaction. I saw it and just went, whoa.
If someone in my family posted that up there, hey, love you, Mom, love you, Dad, love you, baby, bye. Whoa, hey, let's make a phone call. Let's send a text. Let's check on something.
Right.
And this is where I get to the point of the one thing that I would say maybe a long suspension for Ja Morant might not be the right thing. Now, I realize I've gone on the record and I've said he's got to be gone. It's got to be a year suspension. This is a guy with a gun. You're trying to protect the NBA. The NBA can't be sitting here saying, hey, we're all in bed with guns, right? Even though a lot of players have different backgrounds they come from, this is not something you need. And he also was given a chance to try to do the right thing. And here he is back on Instagram with a gun in his hand, and that's not great, right? So I get that. But this is when I saw this story today and saw the situation on social media, I went back to something that Bill Parcells always used to say. He always used to say, what's the most nervous time you have as a coach? And he said, it's always the off season.
Sure.
The amount of time that a player spends away from the structure of the team. Right, that's what he's
bye weeks and all of those things.
That's when my phone is going to ring late at night or something happens. When you're not around the team, when you don't have a schedule, when you're not beholden to anybody, that's when bad things happen. It was always the worst time. And for someone like John Morant, who I can't defend anything he's done, and should he be suspended for a long time? Yeah, he should. But what's that going to do for him? If he's away from the NBA, this is going to take him away from any kind of structure, any kind of routine, any kind of being beholden, any kind of good influence that he could have. And what's going to happen to him then? Hanging around with guys like Devontae Pack, who's, hey, I have no problem ruining your career. Going to do an Instagram video. You got the gun in your hand. That's great. Let's do it, man. I'm going to ruin your career. You got $194 million coming your way. Guess what? The Grizzlies right now, is there any way we can get out of this? Do we have to? How do we get out of it if we have to? Are we on the hook to pay him all of this money? So he's going to be spending time, because you get upset, you get frustrated. The NBA doesn't want me. You feel bad about yourself, and you make bad decisions, and bad decisions snowball into even worse decisions. So that's the one thing I can say is, hey, yeah, long suspension, absolutely, because you're talking about the NBA and one guy who is really not protecting the shield. But at the same time, it's, if he's away from the team for that long, what could happen? And so that's where I kind of sit back and go, eesh, is there something else we can do to work this out? Is there some other way? Because I don't think he's someone that, if he's away from the team, things are going to go sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows, and say, hey, I want to get back in the league.
Well, and that's one of the things as you go through from the union side, their argument about what's been done that's illegal versus the optics of the league and, as you say, protecting the shield, which we usually ascribe to the NFL, but applies here, and what Adam Silver and the front offices of all teams, owners, governors, whatever we're calling them these days, and what your due process is for this. Can it be done? One of the big problems, and it came out in the wash with Memphis, is that you also didn't have a lot of veteran leadership there to kind of calm the Dylan Brooks scenario.
Dylan Brooks isn't helping anybody.
But you
guys think I'm the best.
You know what I mean, though? But to calm down and get him back in line with, hey, we have to focus and actually go and win these games. We don't win by being the loudest guy in the media. It's not professional wrestling where we get some love from the crowd just by being able to do a good shoot interview. That's not helping your bottom line. But you didn't have a lot of veteran voices in the locker room. You have Steven Adams, wasn't available to play, but that might have been part of what was going on there. You didn't have a whole lot of control and unity in the locker room. So figuring out how to fix that internally is one thing, but for the league, you're trying to make sure you don't lose one of your brighter stars in both senses of the word, right? He keeps going down a path with whomever, whether he's the guy that's instigating or it's these guys that he hangs around. I don't know, chicken egg kind of thing. But just sending him off is not doing anybody good.
Yeah,
in any way, shape, or form. And for the league, they don't have one of their top performers either.
No, and that's the tough part is that I don't see a good outcome. Right? I mean, now there's degrees of good outcomes.
No,
there's degrees
right?
of not good outcomes is what I want to say. Now, is a not good outcome he doesn't get suspended? Well, wait a minute. So the guy can do that and wave a gun a couple of times, not get suspended. Is that a good outcome? Not a good outcome for the league. He gets suspended for a year. Is that a good outcome? Probably good for the league. Probably the worst thing for him, because now he's going to be away from the team for a while, and who knows what happens. So that's something where, yeah, it's only the best solution of what we have going forward, which is probably why the NBA is taking so long on some kind of decision here, because you have to take all of these things into account. You would love to say, okay, well, the next day, here it is, can't do it. Maybe David Stern would have done that, but I like to think that maybe they're taking a little bit into account of what could happen as a result of this. And is there something we can do where we can be the fairest to everybody? We can be fair to him. We can be fair to the league. We can be fair to the image of the league. We can be fair as a message to the league, what we want everybody to know. That's why I'm hoping they're taking time. And they can take time, because he's not playing now. It's not like there's anything, he's allowed to play. Well, this is happening. You can take time and you can come up with the right decision. It's just tough because there's no good outcome, for anybody in all of this.
No, and that's it, right? You have a bunch of those allegations that were already out there before this latest video. And then you had a number of current former players like, well, I have guns, we have guns, like, well, but you're not brandishing them on IG Live. And where's that line drawn, right? Between, hey, do you have to register with the league that you are owning a bunch of guns? I don't think you have to disclose those things. So you have no idea. You're just trying to hope that your constituents or your player membership are using the best judgment possible and not putting the league to where that's, page one on newspapers or the front section and front segments of newscasts for something that's gone awry. In the end, out of this message, you hope that there's some weight behind the last public statement that he made, right, of recognizing the gravity of all this, and this was an extension of it, that it was just an outward, and that's all it was. They do the wellness check, and hopefully that's it. But either way, it still strikes me and the armchair psychologist that he's a guy that needs a little bit of guidance and a little bit of help in this process. And going back to your point before, it is still National Mental Health Awareness Month. So, you know what? Do pick up your phone. Text your friends, family. Just do check-ins. People you haven't talked to in a while. We have Jay Glazer on talking about his work with Unbreakable and all the good that's gone there. But the same idea. Make sure you're checking in on your people.